Okay, so I'm gonna like stall a little bit while I'm waiting for people to join, and I'm going to show you guys my dress. I got a new dress, and let me step back and show you. So, ta-da! It's a nice Balinese outfit, and you can close it like this. Like that. Or you can leave it open. I can wear it like if I'm pregnant or if I'm not. I can just, like, it's very versatile. I can wear my bathing suit underneath it, which I'm wearing. I'm wearing a bathing suit underneath. I can wear, yeah. And Andrew got something too yesterday. We went shopping, and yeah, feels really good. This is 125,000 rupees, which is like $7.80. And generally, I'm not really impressed by clothing shopping anywhere we go. There's no clothing products, things that you could buy that are as good as what you can find back in the States. Like, if you live in the States, if you're American, you live in the States, it's everything is much cheaper. Like, you can get things from Amazon, free same-day delivery, like the best clothing ever, really cheap, to your door, all this, the biggest selection you can think of. Everything is, yeah. So that's one thing that I would really, I really miss, is good shopping back in the States. But we went to the market today. We went to Ubud Market, and they have like these stalls outside. Everybody's just selling things outside. They're bargaining a lot. We bargained. I mean, it's still, you could probably get it way less than what we bargained for, but I go crazy in that environment. So I just wanted to leave. So I want to talk about the key ingredient to starting any successful business. What's up, Josh? The key ingredient to starting any successful business, and I say this as somebody who's been running successful and mostly unsuccessful businesses for like as long as I can remember. Even when I was working, even when I was in high school, when I was in college, when I was working jobs, I've been trying to run businesses successfully, and most of the time failing. So I think that there's definitely a formula that is beyond the businesses. Like, you can know everything that you need to know about starting a business A to Z. I need to know how much I need to make this certain service, product, whatever. Oof, 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 oof. There's a bee, there's a bee, there's a bee. I'm so scared. Okay. There's this new bee that is not normally here, that I'm like really scared of. So, but I think there's something beyond just knowing how to start a business or like make money that people don't think about, and that is having a strong nervous system. And it's like, how can you know everything about starting a business or running a business and have spent your whole life in it and still feel like a failure? Haha, Josh is saying the rooster is going crazy. Yeah, this rooster is. So I think that the main key is really just having a strong nervous system. When you have a strong nervous system, like 99% of the problems that people deal with would go away. Strong nervous system meaning whoever's running the business, whoever's like in charge, leading, is unfazed, unshakable. They are doing their yoga. They're getting their needs met. And not everybody that's doing yoga is having their needs met, but they're just like have a strong nervous system. They have a nervous system that isn't going to be easily rattled. they're having their food needs met, they're having their food, shelter, basic security needs met, they're and they don't have to have, you know, good values or good ideas or good anything, really. They just have to have a strong nervous system. And I'm going to give you some examples of like what is not a strong nervous system. A lot of women, we struggle because our bodies are changing constantly, and we're just more vulnerable to having like a more type of like a rattled nervous system. We're just more vulnerable to like dysregulation in our bodies because things are changing constantly. There's lack of stability in our body. So when you're trying to make, oh shit, I'm so distracted from all the sounds. When you're trying to make money from anything, whether it's like your time, your product, assets, whatever it is, you're basically putting like a human number amount on something that doesn't have an inherent number amount. Like this like lemongrass spray, it doesn't have an inherent number amount. Like the universe didn't say this costs $5. The universe doesn't have a number amount for it. So the number amount is basically whatever you put on it. If you, how you decide how much is this going to cost is going to, and whether that's going to be the right price or the price that will match the market is going to depend on how clear you're able to think when you're doing this. How, you know, if you think to yourself, I can get $5 for this item, and you're feeling strong enough, you're going to go out there, you're going to sell it for $5. You're feeling confident in your own abilities. You're able to ask for the things that you believe that it's worth. You're able to demand it. You're able to put it out there, manifest it. Say that this is worth something and shout it from the rooftops until somebody buys it for $5. But generally speaking, when people have boundary issues, meaning they're not able to say what it is that they need to run a proper structure and then stick to it, they're not able to stick to their boundaries or stick to their expectations or stick to their promises or stick to whatever the agreements were from the beginning. It's usually because there's changes happening in their body. There's like shifts happening. Their nervous system is moving around. Their needs are changing. So like they might have started off saying, all right, this is $5. Next week, they're gonna say, oh, you know what, like, I'm feeling kind of weak and I'm feeling like this is not really it's not going how I expected. So I'm gonna charge $2 because like, why would anyone buy this? I'm feeling kind of like down this week. Why would anyone buy my repellent for $5? And then the guy that you were paying $2 per, or the guy that you were paying, let's say you were paying someone like 50 cents for everything that they package. You might have been paying him for 50 cents. You might have promised up front that you're paying 50 cents. And then the next week you're like, oh my God, you're too rattled. You're like, dude, I can't pay you 50 cents. I have to pay 25 cents. The guy who was getting paid a certain amount starts to feel rattled too. There starts to be problems in the business because people are just like all over the place. The goalposts are changing and moving because the goalposts are moving according to you, according to your mental state, and your mental state is moving around, it's shifting around. And this is something that I was talking about with a friend this morning, is like when you have a rattled nervous system, like when your nervous system is kind of dysregulated. I know the roosters are kind of loud today. Sorry guys. Sorry Josh. My nervous system made a comment in the chat. So yeah, it's really loud. It's actually very distracting for me, which I've struggled. Yeah, I've struggled with the dysregulated nervous system for like my whole life, basically. And usually that starts either in, usually when people have like kind of a crazy nervous system that's like kind of all over the place and is not able to feel safe, and it's kind of like this. It usually starts from childhood, and sometimes before you're even born, you're born with fight or flight in your system. When you're in your fight or flight, when your body is in fight or flight, meaning it's the fight or flight nerve is being overstimulated, it's not going to make decisions that are good for longevity and long-term success. It's going to make decisions that are to fight the thing right now. So the energy is going to be very different, and in order to run any successful business, obviously you need more of a long-term energy. You need like a stable energy. You need something that's going to work long-term. If your body is right now in fight or flight, you're powered by, people call it desperate energy, but it's really just your fight or flight energy. It's like the energy of, I need money right now, I need money right now, I need money right now. You're going to go into your relationships with this kind of energy. I feel this energy a lot in people that come to Bali. I think this is very common. And I think this is why I don't like going out so much in like the very expat areas, because it feels like I'm smelling it coming off of like every person that walks into these places. People come to Bali because Bali is like, eat, pray, love. People come to Bali because they lost something back in their home country. They became dysregulated. They got a divorce. They lost their business, whatever. So they come here in a state of dysregulation, looking for stability, because there is a lot of stability to be found. But if you're not immersing yourself in the local culture and you're around a lot of other expats, you're going to be absorbing a lot of this dysregulated energy. I mean, we came here with that too. Everybody comes here with that. And I think that's one thing I would say is like, if that's you, like I would give yourself some time. If you're coming to Bali and you're coming with this like dysregulated energy, I would give yourself time to settle in, make it happen, make things happen. Because you just can't make solid decisions for yourself from this position, from this energy. You're going to, your body is going to lock you into to more future chaotic situations, and it's not going to be fruitful in any sustainable way. It's going to be just you're going to be digging yourself deeper into the things that create that rattled nervous system to begin with. So actually, my friend and I were talking about this morning. Setting boundaries is like probably the most important thing in any business that you're running. Like, I am running a cleaning business, and I have a price for my cleaning staff is like $100 per cleaning or whatever. Or I have Airbnb, a rental business where people are renting my place for $2,000 a month per unit or whatever. Whatever your business is. Or you have like, you're running an online service, whatever, marketing or something. So having set clear boundaries, prices, knowing what you need in order to make it happen, for yourself, having those boundaries where like, okay, I need X to make this happen, which is going to make the thing more likely to happen, more successful, happen faster, more smoothly, more efficiently. And there's crickets too. It's very distracting. And there's a cat coming here. It's a very cute cat. So there's the things that you need, and then there's the things that the agreements that you can set up with other people. I think a lot of people are so rattled that they don't, not only do they not know what they need, they don't know what they need from other people too. So they end up in like, and the thing is, especially if you grew up in places where people are poor, or they're not poor in the way that you understand it, but they're not used to running businesses. So one thing that you'll notice in places where people are not, don't have businesses of their own, is that you'll notice is like everyone is an employee basically. So they're basically like slaves. The thing that you'll notice with people that are all employees, and if you're in that kind of environment, is that they're going to be generally really bad at setting boundaries. And if they are good at it, there's going to be a little bit of a culture of like, you can't have that because Nate says, why isn't the dono on? Because my channel isn't monetized right now. Maybe in the future. So thank you for asking. So, yeah, I'm very rattled right now because there's so much sound, and I'm like just healing. And yesterday we went shopping for the stress. Yesterday we went shopping, and it was like torture to be, yeah, it was torture to be around so much noise. I saw the rooster comment. So even me making this live stream right now, I'm doing it from a position of like I haven't taken enough time or quiet or, focus to just think my thoughts and say what I'm saying. By the way, I have to show you guys something. See, I'm distracted, so I have to show you this cat. How cute is this cat right here? Just sitting there like this, just relaxing. He's looking at a bird. Yeah. When you don't have a regulated nervous system, you're going to commit to things that you don't really want to do. You're going to put yourself, you're not going to feel strong enough to decide, to be able to discern between what you want to do versus what you don't want to do. What I want to focus on today versus what I don't want to focus on today. Your nervous system is just pulling on anything because it's dysregulated. It's not feeling safe and stable. So you're not going to be able to discern between, I feel like meditating, getting a massage. I feel like doing things that are good for my financial future, working on my website, budgeting, checking my bank account. I feel like investing in my relationships that are a source of energy for me, my relationship, my core relationship, my relationships with family members, friends. You're not doing those things because your body is not able to discern between what is good for you versus what is not good for you because you're in a state of dysregulation. Everything is everything to you right now. Nate says, Pardes, you look like an Iranian Hollywood starlet right now. Keep these compliments going, you guys. This is why I'm making this. So right now there's a plane. And a lot of times, like in a lot of like manosphere circles, and when I was younger, when I was living in DC, I noticed this a lot because I was around a lot of like manosphere type of people, like guys that would coach other guys for dating. One thing that they would tell guys to do, and they would like coach each other on this, is they would tell each other, if you want to get a girl to sleep with you, do things that she doesn't want to do, she wouldn't want to do normally. You have to basically get her off balance, and you have to dysregulate her. So you might confuse her with something. You might say something that confuses her. You might say something that bothers her, ego, hurts her feelings. You might hurt her feelings, make her feel small. You might, and this is like, they talk about this a lot with dating, and guys do use this tool a lot. I don't know why it's like a thing in the manosphere, where they'll tell each other to, like, if you set a time, you never come on time. Like, let's say you have a date, you never come on time to the date. You're always moving the goalposts. Like, oh, and I recently, something that rattled me so much was recently, I I started hanging out with this person. I'm not going to get into it of like why we hung out, how it happened, whatever, but she had been doing this a lot. And that was like the first red flag of like, whenever I am interacting with someone and they do this, and usually they target someone that they feel, and I don't even know if people do this consciously all the time, but usually when someone is like this, where they're the kind of person that can shake you off balance so that they can get you to do things that you wouldn't normally want to do, they will usually do it with people that their body instinctively knows that it might work with, because this has worked with me a lot in the past, because I've been in a state of dysregulation my whole life. So a very common tactic that people in the manosphere will use consciously is that, and they'll use this in business too. They'll use this in business a lot, actually, where they will, and it's not always malicious, it's not always conscious. It's the way people get their needs met, oftentimes, is to get you to commit to things that you wouldn't normally commit to in your healthy nervous system. So that might work right now for the business. You might get a sale out of it. And actually, a lot of people do this in the States. Like, a lot of like businesses that are like very sales oriented, they'll do this. They'll get your business right now. They'll get you to buy the thing right now. They'll come to your house and say, buy this thing, and they won't leave until they get you to do it. And you're not buying the thing because you're feeling stable. You're buying the thing because you were caught off guard. But the person who's selling it to you does not have a dysregulated nervous system. They're in their regulated state. They're coming in their strength. But you're buying it, you're making a bad deal for yourself, something that you wouldn't normally agree to, because you're not regulated. This is like a theme with people that are serial business failures. I don't want to call myself a serial business failure because I'm living right now. The fact that I'm able to live here, I could live here for years off of the money I made, off of some of the success back in the States. And I'm living very frugally. I live with a budget. I'm very careful. But there's inevitably, no matter how shitty you are at any kind of business thing, you do this long enough, you're gonna get somewhere. Like, it's just impossible not to. Someone by accident will pay you for something. And so, but one thing that I notice when it's like, when people have been doing this for so long and they just feel like they're not getting anywhere, typically it just all boils down to a dysregulated nervous system. When you're able to be thrown off of your center, that's when people can usually get their needs met at the expense of your long-term needs. And that's really important. If you getting all the massages that you need and doing all the meditation that you needed and having all the right sleep that you needed and all the things that you needed in your life, getting the right physical, like sexual needs met, like feeling good, like in your healthiest, most stable, okay, secure state where you're not vulnerable, you're okay. If you wouldn't agree to this thing, then it's probably not something that's going to sustain you for very long. And if it does sustain you, it's going to just get you to the next step, maybe, which is maybe what you need, actually, in this time. Maybe it is what you need. But if you are trying to do something that's really long term, that's going to sustain you for a really long term, you'll want to be making decisions from a position, imagining yourself already at the position of like, and people talk about this a lot in manifesting. They'll say like, visualize yourself already there, already having the thing that you want, already having the feeling that you want. And that's how you'll succeed. Like, let's say I want to be, this guy was using an example of like, I want to have a private jet. Visualize yourself already having it. How does it feel? You desensitize yourself to the idea of the things that you want so that it feels normal for you, so that you are basically acting in a way that is conducive to that thing being in your life. You act in a way that attracts the energy of the kinds of people that would be interacting with people that have a private jet, the kinds of things that would be attracted to the kind of thing. And to me, really, you can do that even if you don't have all those things. You can regulate your nervous system. Nature, life has everything that you need to regulate your nervous system. They just might not be the things that people are trying to sell you. People are selling you because they're running their businesses. They're selling you things like, you need to have this product that I'm selling in order to have a regulated nervous system. You need to have my lemongrass spray, which is really awesome. I love my lemongrass spray. It keeps the bugs away and it smells so good. People say you need my whatever service that I'm giving you. You need my service. I don't know. You need my healing service or whatever in order for your nervous system to be regulated. And they might, because they might be in a regulated nervous system and they can help you regulate your nervous system. They could do that, and other humans can certainly regulate your nervous system. But nature also has those things. You can learn how to get it. You can get it for free. You can go on YouTube, watch just a ton of videos that people made about this. You can go on Google, see tactics people use for regulating their nervous system. Josh says, I have 4 staple supplements: vitamin D, milk, thistle, dandelion, root, and NAC. It's interesting. I'm going to read some of your comments right now. Josh says, go inside and film. I don't like inside because it's so dark. And it's so like, but maybe in the next video, that's something I'm thinking to do. So there's a bee. Oh, this bee is actually a nice, peaceful bee. He's just looking for his home. So, this is so funny. This bee is actually just, all right. There's a bee right in front of me. When you are super regulated, you will not go crazy from a bee. You will maybe not even notice it. Like these cats, that they sleep so much, they're just sleeping all day long, and they're fed, they're well fed, and they're sleeping, and they're so relaxed. If a bee landed on them, they wouldn't care. Okay, so Nate says Manosphere coaches are super cringe. Yes, they are, because Manosphere coaches are all about the bait and switch, like they're all about closing, but they're not really about running a successful business, which is a successful relationship. So you can get the sales. So they're like salesmen, basically. You can get the quick, cheap sale, but you're not really locking anything in long term. And over time, the more you do it, you start to get a reputation for being like a snake oil salesman, and nobody wants to date you, basically, or buy your product. And then also you also trap yourself into this negative, you trap yourself into a negative like cycle. You basically trick yourself into believing that you can't be in a relationship where your needs are met, basically, because you're only attracting the cheap sales, and you start to see yourself as like that, and you stop, you become unable to see yourself beyond that. I'd have to give you a better example for this. Josh says, Pardes, I can tell you don't like Bali. Go to France or something. Oh, I don't like France. The reason why I don't like Bali is because of the expats, honestly. I don't want to go to a place where there's more Westerners. And I'm sorry to say this because I know most of the people watching this are Westerners. There's a lot of things that is really off about Western culture for me and for my needs, that I feel much better to be around people that didn't grow up in that paradigm. Like, I grew up in that paradigm in like Western culture, but then also I feel like I grew up knowing that there's so much better out there because I also spoke other languages and I was exposed to other paradigms. I would probably want to live after this. I would want to live. I would want to see. I'd want to try out Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, just because I have like family friends in Singapore. I'd want to like get to know I'd want to check out Singapore for a little bit, and then but it's also going to be expensive, so I'd want it to fit within my budget, my plans, and I also want to spend some time in the Middle East. Okay, so, and maybe China, I don't know. Nate says, Pardes moved to El Salvador. Crypto is basically their official currency, and crime is now non-existing. They're like Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh yeah, the salespeople. Josh says, I take 10 supplements, but those 4 I can't live without. Josh says, some manosphere coaches are good, but the market has been flooded with frauds. Oof, 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 oof. Fly. B. Yeah, there's a lot of noise all the time. Nate says, Pardes is finally becoming true Persian by her critiques of Western chauvinism. Josh says, are you going to try Iowa next? Yeah. So yeah, that's the deal. Focus on yourself, focus on your nervous system, focus on becoming a stable person. Don't be around anybody that tells you that you shouldn't be selfish. Don't be selfish. Don't be too self-absorbed. Spend too much time with yourself. If you need it, you should do it, because there's just no hope for anyone beyond you if you can't get your basic needs met. There's no hope for you being able to pay people, pay employees, provide any services for anybody, to basically be able to interact with the economy in any meaningful way when you can't even take care of yourself. If you can't take care of yourself and you can't be good for yourself and you can't be empowering for yourself, literally, who are you good for? You're good for nobody. If you can't show up for yourself, and that's it. That's all I have to say. I should really take my own advice. I was out with someone And I was telling her, like, you're being too, I was telling her that she was being too, she wasn't being selective enough with the people that with the way that she spent her time. Like, she was basically going around the scene and just hanging out with everybody and just talking to everybody and hanging out with everybody. And like these people, like she's spending a lot of money on things that she doesn't really need, and sometimes she doesn't even like, you know what I mean? She's like, her schedule is backed up with these hanging out with these people, with all these people. Are these people giving her money? Are they giving her, like, are they doing anything for her? Are they teaching her anything? Like, so I was telling her, like, you're not being selective enough with your time. You're being, and like your first, and I was basically like, and the thing is, I can't help but like see people's problems and then get so aggravated by it that either I have to tell it to them or I have to ghost them. So in this case, I actually told her. But usually if I meet you, and this is why I just can't be around people too much, because eventually I'm going to start noticing problems with you, and I'm gonna want to tell you, or I don't want to be around you because I don't want to hurt your feelings. So in this case, and the thing is, it's like, it shouldn't hurt anybody's feelings. It's just things that I notice. But I just noticed that like she wasn't able to even show up to our meetings on time, or even at the place that we like. She was just all over the place. The energy was so chaotic, and but a lot of people here are like this. It was just all over the place. It felt very unreliable. It felt unsafe. Like, I felt like I would never want to like open a bank account with someone like this. Like, I just would feel, I just felt so all over the place. And I was saying this, and I was saying, you need to be more selective with, you know, only show up for people that show up for you. Only invest in things that are a good investment. Only spend time with people that give back to you, that energize you. Don't be listening to morality or whatever you were taught in your country. Like, you know, what your body knows right now. This is what I feel like doing. This is what I am energized by. Like, I'm energized by these videos, you guys that I'm talking to. That's what you should be investing in. And what doesn't energize you, you cut out from your schedule. So I was like saying this, and then I was like, later I was thinking to myself, oh my God, like literally I need to listen to my own advice, because there's so many things that I know that I don't want to be doing. And not only do I not want to be doing, it's like I don't need to be doing. I'm doing it because I'm, you know, there's maybe like a part of me that was convinced at a time when I was very weak in my lower, when I was feeling weak, when I was a child, when I was vulnerable to the adults in my life, when I was, you know, poor, when I was out there struggling, at a time when I was very weak, and people would tell me all these things, you know, the adults would tell me all these things to manipulate me, like, oh, like, you have to do this for me or do that for me, you have to spend time with other people, you have to be good for other people, you have to be nice, you can't ever be honest, you have to be, you know, just be a shell of yourself for everybody else. And they would like put these ideas in my head. But now it's not relevant anymore. And it's not relevant to you either. It's not relevant to anybody, literally, that is trying to do anything that is useful in the world, or useful or productive or happy, healthy. Like, it is literally just a waste of time for you to be smiling at people that you don't feel like smiling to. And the thing is that I really needed to learn this for myself. Actually, I realized that I was sitting there telling somebody this, and I was like, you know what? Why am I even telling somebody this? And I think part of the reason why I like to see people's flaws, and I like to tell them, because it teaches me about myself. I see that in me. And I was like, you know what? I need to spend time with myself and focus on like taking apart the things in my schedule that I'm doing, the people that I'm talking to. Like, a lot of times I'm just bogged down with my phone, responding to people, texting people, and I'm like, should I even be spending all day responding to people on my phone? Even if they're the closest person to me, like, I mean, not the closest person to me, but like, even if they're like someone I know, even if I know all these people, should I be like sitting on my phone all day and doing this? When this is a momentary feeling of release of like, okay, I can get rid of this guilt that I'm not being there for these people, or I can get this piece of love that is very momentary by texting this person back right now. But how is that helping your business? How is that helping your life? How is that helping your long-term relationships? How is that help building anything long-term? You want to build anything long-term, you want to do it from a position of stability, the long-term energy, which can only come from a regulated nervous system. Your body is literally different when your nervous system is regulated versus when it's not. When your nervous system is regulated, the hormones that your body sends out to the rest of your body are totally different. The signals are totally different. The signals that it sends out to the rest of your body are going to be repair signals. They're going to be longevity signals. This is why we learned that we can hack our bodies, and we've been learning it through the past several months. We've been radically changing our nervous systems. We've learned that we can heal things that are just in random places in our body, like a foot injury, a fracture, a bone fracture. You can heal your bone fracture by getting the kind of massage along this nerve right here, your vagus nerve, which is your like responsible for your fight or flight. You can convince this nerve that it is safe and okay, and the way you do it is by getting massages, getting it to be in a state of motion, because that's when it's in a state of motion, your body is basically tricked into thinking that it is relaxed and it's safe. And then when it's thinking that it's relaxed and it's safe, it starts to send out signals of relaxed and safe to the rest of your body, which is like the repair signals, the healing signals. And you could heal parts of your body by doing that. And you wouldn't believe me unless you try this for yourself. Right now you might think that I'm crazy, but next time you have an injury, you have some kind of injury, ear infections all day, you're having diarrhea, you're having chronic issues, chronic anxiety, chronic bipolar or whatever. I put it in quotes because these things are all like on a spectrum. But even anything chronic, the autoimmune disorders that are chronic, that you think that is unfixable, you really think that there's nothing you can do about it. Cancer. Try this. Go to a country in Southeast Asia where massages are like $6 an hour and get a massage every day and tell them to focus here. And then come back to me like a month or 2 months later. Actually, you have to do it for a long time. You have to do it for like 6 months. But if you're dying anyway, you might as well do it, right? Like if you have cancer, like a lot of people come here with cancer and they do this and it works. And it's like, no doctor would ever sign off on it because it's so woo-woo for them, because it's something that you have to really commit to. It's like a lifestyle thing, and the doctor can't really control your lifestyle. The doctor can control your medication, and they can also make money from your medication. They can, or the pharmaceutical company, like they can sell you something that they know for sure is going to do a certain thing, but they can't really control your lifestyle. Even if they tell you every day, go walk every day for this, they can't control how your walking is going to be. Is it really going to be a good kind of walking? They can't really guarantee that. So I think like, even if the doctors know that there's certain things for you to do, they're just not going to tell you. Maybe they will tell you, but that won't be their prescription. But anyways, that's all I have to say. Dog barked, and that is a cue for me to get off this live stream. And maybe I'm just gonna double check. your comment. Nate says, just move to some cabin in Montana. Oh, I do not want to move back to the States. I'm so sorry. Josh says, you're the real deal, Pardes, and you are appreciated. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Nate says, how is Leah? You used to do videos with her. Is she married with 8 kids yet? Actually, I'm still in touch with Leah, and she is, she's doing well. She is actually working on something really cool, like a nonprofit, which if she wants, maybe she and I can do some kind of live stream about it, and she can talk about it. And she's working on a really cool thing right now. And she's in a relationship. But she's, yeah. I don't want to talk about her personal life yet, but maybe she'll talk about it. Okay. Donna says, pretty home. Yeah, it is very pretty. This is Indonesian Balinese style. Yeah, Balinese style. Very nice. I don't know if you can tell, but there's swastikas. Those are swastikas on the door. Swastikas, for anybody that doesn't know, was never originally a Nazi symbol. It is a symbol of peace and prosperity. And the word swastika means like peace, prosperity. It's not a malicious thing. Josh says, I don't even attempt a fake smile. I'm not good at it. Good. No fake smiles. You're too honest. It's really good. There's no reason to give fake smiles unless you think that you're in danger if you don't smile falsely. But you shouldn't even be in a place where you need to fake smile in order to survive and feel safe. That's crazy. It's crazy that I would have ever thought that it's normal to have to fake smile in order to feel safe in an environment. That's crazy. And the final thing, yes, here's my dress. Very Balinese style dress. Okay, so we're gonna go now. See you guys later in the next video. Hope you have an awesome day or evening for a lot of you guys. Bye.